Hello students, how is everyone? I hope everyone are fit and fine and staying safe. So previously we were done with your periodic 1 and half yearly courses. Today we will be starting with your periodic 2 course. You have 3 lessons to be done in your periodic 2 course. Okay, to begin with we will start with your chapter 8, that is reproduction in animals. Okay, so now before I start explaining, I'd like you to first solve this puzzle out here. Like, you'll have to tick among this which can reproduce, but before that you should know what is the meaning of reproduce. What is reproduce? What is reproduction in animal? Reproduction is when a new individual organisms or offsprings are produced from their parents. That is when parents give birth or reproduce same of a young one of which looks like itself. Okay, so like here you see among all these which can reproduce. All right, so you will tick them. Those that can reproduce, you will tick them. Okay, all living things, they have a definite lifespan, and after certain period of time of their lifespan they will obviously die, right? So before this, what happens for it to continue, for the life to go on and to continue, all living things, what they do, they reproduce their own kind. That means when a hen will reproduce, its baby will not look like a cub. Okay, obviously it will be a chick. All right, similarly it will not look different like other animal. Those, they will have their those babies will resemble their mother. All right. So in the process of reproduction, what is reproduction actually? It's the process by which living things produce their own kind. Okay, that is, it will look like the mother. Now animals, they reproduce in two ways. One is what? They lay eggs, and the other way is by giving birth. So these are the two ways in which animals reproduce. Now first we will see about animals that give birth to young ones. Like for example, like giraffe, lion, elephant, dolphin, dogs, and even humans. Okay, these animals, they give birth to their young ones, and those animals that give birth to the young ones, those are known as what? Those are known as mammals. Okay, you can see the term here, mammals. Those are known as mammals. The animals which give birth to young ones, they are known as the mammals. Okay, now there are animals that give birth to one baby at a time. Okay, such as elephant, horse, cow, and there are animals that give birth to many babies at a time. Okay, like dog, cat, pigs. Okay, so now animals which give birth to many babies at a time, so those group of babies are known as what? They are known as litter. Okay, they are known as litter. So you have to know what is litter. It may come in your one word also. You have to know this term. What are mammals? What are litter? These all are important terms you have to know. So what are mammals? Mammals are animals that reproduce by giving birth. All right, those animals that give birth to young ones, those are known as mammals. And what are litter? Litter are the group of babies which are being born, or those animals that give birth to many babies at a time. Those group of babies are known as litter. So like we have seen those animals that we have seen about the animals that give birth to the young ones. Next we will see about the animals that lay eggs. All right, now like for examples like birds, aquatic animals, amphibians, insects, reptiles, what they do, they lay eggs. They do not give birth to babies. Okay, they will lay eggs and they will hatch the eggs. What is the meaning of hatch? Yes, what do you mean by the term hatch? What is to hatch eggs? Hatch is hatch means when a young animal, it emerges or it comes out of the egg, that is hatch. Okay, that's the meaning of hatch. Actually, how these animals will hatch, that is when they lay eggs, the mother will sit over the egg and it will give warmth to the egg. That is known as hatching. Okay, so we will see further how they hatch, but before that we will see about the structure of egg. Okay, now in the structure of egg, I hope everyone have seen eggs. You have it at your homes also. We eat eggs also, okay, in our meals. Okay, so if we see about the structure of egg, there are different parts of the egg. All right, like the main, you have to know these parts. They are the albumin, yolk, shell, and embryo. I have labeled the diagram. You can see in the diagram, those are the parts of egg. So in the parts of the egg, we will see first is eggshell. This is the eggshell, right? So eggshell, what is eggshell? It is the thin and hard outer covering of an egg. That is the eggshell. This is the outer covering of the egg. Now the interior of the egg, when we break the eggshell, we can see these parts of the egg, that is the albumin and the yolk. Now in the albumin, what is albumin? Albumin is a jelly like, it's a white jelly like liquid, and this lies below the eggshell. Okay, and it is rich in protein, and inside the albumin yolk is present, and this lies within the albumin. The yolk, it lies within the albumin. Yolk is the yellow part of an egg, and what it contains? It contains fats, proteins, minerals, and vitamins. And inside the yolk, there is an embryo. Okay, inside the yolk, there is embryo, and this embryo is known as the growing baby. All right, embryo is also known as the growing baby, and it lives inside the yolk, and yolk provides food to the embryo. All right, here you can see in this diagram, you can see the embryo at the central of the yolk, that is the embryo, and yolk, it provides food for the embryo. So we have seen the structure of an egg. Now we are going to see about different life cycles of different animals that lay eggs. About egg laying animals, we are going to see about their life cycle. Here we will see about birds and hens, what they do, what is happening in their life cycle. Birds, what they do, they build different types of nests to lay their eggs. And after laying egg, what happens? The mother bird, it sits over the egg to give the warmth to the egg, that is, it hatches the egg, and due to this embryo inside the egg, it undergoes many changes and grows into a baby bird, and when the baby bird matures, it pushes the eggshell and breaks the shell, and it hatches out, or it comes out of the egg. Here we see like in the life cycle of hen, right? In hen, what it does, first it lays egg, and then it from the egg, this embryo, after the mother hatches the egg, this embryo develops into a chick, and as this chick grows, it breaks the eggshell and it comes out, and then it grows into an adult hen again. In life cycle of hen, it has three phases. What are the phases? Egg, chick, and the chicken stage. All right, so how many stages it has? It has three stages in the life cycle of a hen. Next, we are going to see about the amphibians. What are amphibians? Amphibians are animals that live both on land and on even water. They are cold-blooded animals. They have backbones. Example of amphibians we can take as frog and toad. Okay, we are going to see about the life cycle of frog. Life cycle of frog, it has four stages, and the stages are egg, tadpole, froglet, and frog. These are the four stages in the life cycle of frog. First, what happens? The frog, it will lay eggs in a large cluster, and this cluster of eggs are known as the spawn. Okay, spawn, that is known as spawn. When the egg hatches, they form tiny fish-like organisms called the tadpole. Okay, so in this picture you can see these are the spawn. Alright, this is the cluster of egg, And then after that, when this egg hatches, they form tiny fish-like organisms called the tadpole. All right, tadpoles, they have breathing organ, and their breathing organ is gills. Through gills they breathe, and they even develop tail. You can see they have tail. All right, and after a certain period of time, as they grow, they begin to develop even legs also. The tadpole will begin to develop legs, and they will begin to resemble as frog also. All right, and as their legs develop, slowly their tails will begin to disappear. You can see here the tail has begun to disappear. And then before, the tadpole's breathing organ was gills. Now as they grow big, what happens, the gill begin to disappear and lungs develop. So the frog, when it as it's growing, it begins to breathe through the lungs. All right, then due to these changes, finally they develop into an adult frog. Okay, so this is how the changes occurs in the life cycle of frog. And the process of changing of a tadpole to an adult frog, this process known as metamorphosis. The important thing you have to know is tadpole, the breathing organ of tadpole is gills, and for frog, when it reaches the frog stage, the breathing organ is lungs. Okay, you have to know this. These are two important points in cases in the life cycle of a frog. Finally, we are gonna see about insects. Insects also, they reproduce by laying eggs, such as butterfly, housefly, cockroach. Okay, in case of cockroach, they include three stages. Their life cycle includes three stages. In case of butterfly, the life cycle includes four stages. Okay, first we are going to see about the life cycle of now we are going to see about only the life cycle of a butterfly. Okay, the stages, what happened, and the life cycle of butterfly. So you can see here in this picture the life cycle of butterfly. They have four main stages. The four main stages are egg, uh, the four main stages are the eggs. Then next you have the larva stage, that is even the caterpillar is also known as larva. Then you have the pupa stage, and last you have the adult butterfly stage. So it has total of four stages. Okay, first what happens, this butterfly, it lays eggs on a leaf, okay, of a plant. It will lay many eggs, and each egg, what happens, egg hatches into a single butterfly. When the egg hatch, tiny caterpillar comes out of it. You can see here the caterpillar comes out of it. All right, from the egg a caterpillar comes out, and it doesn't resemble a butterfly. Okay, it's completely different from a butterfly. When the egg hatches, tiny caterpillar, or even the larva, you can call it as larva also. Okay, this stage is also known as larva. A larva comes out, then the caterpillar keeps on feeding on the leaves and it grows. Slowly what happens, the caterpillar, it forms a vessel around it known as pupa. You can see it. Okay, it's also known as the cocoon. Alright, it forms a pupa around it. And inside the pupa, the caterpillar grows and it develops. From outside, it seems that the pupa is nothing is happening, right? From outside of the pupa, it looks as if the caterpillar may be just resting, but actually what happens inside, the movement occurs, changes occurs. Okay, and as the caterpillar keeps changing inside the pupa, with passage of time the pupa opens. Okay, and then you can see a butterfly emerges and comes out, and finally it forms into an adult butterfly. Okay, so these are the this is the life cycle of a caterpillar. A butterfly. This is the life cycle of a butterfly. When the caterpillar undergoes changes or transforms, okay, this process is known as metamorphosis. You should know this term, it's very important. This process is known as metamorphosis. As tiny one of butterfly is called caterpillar, similarly, the tiny one, or the baby of a cockroach, is known as nymph. Okay, and even of a housefly, it is known as maggot. These terms also you have to know. The baby of a butterfly is known as caterpillar, and of cockroach it is known as nymph, and of housefly it is known as maggot. So we have come to the end of the chapter. We have come to the end of the lesson. Alright, and please go through your books properly. Soon a test also will be held for this lesson, so study well. Okay, stay safe and stay sound, students. Please take care and study well.